Everyone, thank you for joining our Dharma Assembly, Dharma Talk. Continuing at Master Shenhua's Fochi instructions, he recounted the story of a couple disciples of his who originally came from Seattle, and they got divorced, and he talked them out of it, and they got together again. And they stayed in the San Francisco area, and then they went back to Seattle 5 years later, and they got divorced. And they came around and asked him again for help. This is one of the pet peeves that Master Shenhua has about us, people here in the modern times, that we are not very persistent. If it doesn't work, we get divorced in our relationships. And disapproves of that, especially in marriages. Okay, that's what we are today, I think. Next section.
在美国的经验，那么咱们中国这呢，相信也是每个家庭家家都有8出戏。
So in China, I believe it's also every household, each household has its own 8-act drama.
咱们会唱不会唱，唱得好，唱得不圆满不圆满，这有很多的问题。
Whether we know how to sing in the dramas or not, whether we sing well, whether the singing is flawless or not, just this alone, there's a lot of problems.
所以我不相信这个袁国林家里也有8出戏，为了9出10出，不止8出。
So, I don't believe this Yan Guoming's household also has an 8-act drama. Probably 9 acts, 10 acts, not merely 8 acts.
所以咱们要发愿升极乐世界去，就没有这么多麻烦，没有这么多烦恼。娑婆世界是。
Therefore, we should make vows to be born in the land of ultimate bliss. Then there won't be this much trouble, won't be that many afflictions.
是五浊恶世，极乐世界是无有众苦，但受诸乐。
The Saha world is the evil world of the 5 turbidities, whereas the land of ultimate bliss is without all sufferings, only has experiences of all kinds of bliss.
所以每一个人呢，要好好念佛，求生极乐世界去。
So then, every single person should diligently and earnestly recite the Buddha's name, seek rebirth in the land of ultimate bliss.
不要再留恋这个世界了，这个世界的确是苦的。
Do not be emotionally attached to this world any longer. This world is truly full of sufferings.
所以说，弟子众等现是生死反腐，罪障深重，轮回六道苦不可言。
So it is said, we disciples and the assembly presently are ordinary people, subject to birth and death, with offenses and obstructions that are deep and heavy, revolving in the wheel of the 6 paths. The suffering cannot be spoken with words.
你看看这话说的多恳切今遇知识，现在遇到善知识了。
You see, these words are spoken with such sincerity. We have now encountered a good knowing advisor. We have now met a good knowing advisor.
闻弥陀名号，本愿功德，阿弥陀佛那个本愿功德。
We get to hear Amitabha's name, the merit and virtue of his past vows. Ah, Amitabha Buddha, that, the merit and virtue of his past vows.
咱们大家现在念打佛七就要求生极乐世界。
So, we now recite, participate in the Fo Chi, to seek rebirth in the land of ultimate bliss.
所以在晚间的上，个人代为父母师长去礼结冤亲，礼佛参拜。
So, at night, it is said, individually, on behalf of our parents, teachers, elders, and past creditors from kalpas past, we pay respect to the Buddha and bow 3 times.
现在者增福延寿，过去者求生净土。
Ah, the living increase blessings and extend their lives. The departed seek rebirth in the Pureland.
咱们愿我们过去的父母也都早生极乐世界。
So, we wish that all our parents from past lives will be born in the land of ultimate bliss sooner.
自己也要发愿生极乐世界去，不要在这个世界了，在这个世界太苦了。
We ourselves must also make a vow to be born in the land of ultimate bliss. Don't be in this world any longer. Being in this world is too much suffering.
Okay. Let's discuss what we just heard. Okay. So he says lots of dramas, not just here in the U.S., but also in China, where he came from. I'm pretty sure in every single society we have a lot of dramas because the nature, the suffering. The theme of this talk here is Pureland Dharma. The Pureland Dharma teaches us about Yen Li. Yen is Tao Yen. Yen is to abhor. Li is to leave or keep the distance from, okay, to depart from. So the theme of the Pureland Dharma that we learn from the Asians is that Yen Li, okay. So we should, the reason we are abhorrent, we are disenchanted, to say it mildly, is because there's so much suffering, so much drama in our lives, in our families. And he says here, drama, the Chinese like to watch dramas and they sing, these old Beiju, I think he's referring to, right? So the dramas of the Chinese drama, they sing and they dance and they act and so forth. And it's always about problems of people, famous as well as ordinary people. And he says, by the way, I believe that Yuan Guoming is not spared from that. Not only is he 8-act Chinese drama, but probably 9 or 10 acts. It's a lot worse. Okay, and so he says, you see, up to now, I talked to you about how much trouble it is to live, how much suffering it is for us to live in this world. And no one is spared from it. Doesn't matter who you are. You can be rich, you can be famous, you can be young, you can be old. We all have so many afflictions. We have so much suffering that is not funny. Okay? Ordinary people prefer to look away from that, choose to ignore that, because they tell themselves, So we're suffering. So what are we going to do? So we ordinary people distract themselves from that. They say, okay, I suffer during the week working, and on the weekends or after hours, I go and have fun to compensate for it. This is a typical reaction of all of us. We distract ourselves instead of trying to find a solution. Okay, and that's the nature of entrapment, of slavery. Slavery is that the masters give the slaves enough for them to keep going and not ever consider escaping the state of being a slave. It's breaking the shackles and the fetters, not at all. And that's why the masters are extremely clever, that they can keep the slaves in bondage. Okay, and we all disapprove of that, right? In our cultures, look at how slavery here in the U.S. In the ancient times, you have a lot of slaveries in all cultures. Okay, in Egypt, for example, they built the Great Pyramids from slave labor. Okay, and so you see, humanity excels at using slavery to maintain itself. Okay. And get what it wants, and so we are all skilled at doing that. Okay, we submit ourselves. We are willing to slave for not our masters, but our desires in this world. That's what we do in this entire world. We slave for our desires. So, in other words, when you think about it, we are a lot more clever than our own masters. Because no matter what, we continue to slave until the day we die. Okay, the slaves, they eventually rebel, like in this country, in the South, the slaves eventually rebelled. Okay, but for us, ordinary people, we were willing to slave ourselves for our desires until the day we die, and then plan to come back and continue. The Buddhists, that is. Many Buddhists plan to come back, especially Chan people. He said, I'm going to come back and save my mother, I'm going to come back and save my friends. Okay, my loved ones, yeah. And including the Tibetans. Tibetans say, I will teach you a way to come back with a higher status. If you're at grade 1 and you come back at best grade 2, whoopee. And no one ever dare question that. It's so weird because we have a slave mentality. There you go. That's the only, I'm warning you, this is the only controversial thing I'm going to bring up tonight. I promise. Agree? You look disappointed. But think about it. It is so fascinating to me that until I became a monk and learned from Master Shenhua, I was just too happy to slave for my desires. I can only speak for myself. Okay, let's hear it, guys. Let's hear your confessions. No one? Yes, too. Who are you slaving for?
Thank you, Master. I was slaving for social media.
Social media. Okay.
Can I expand a little bit?
Details, please.
So I think, speaking for myself, I was working in media and entertainment and was responsible for creating content.
Mm-hmm. You did well. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Well, it was a team effort, so I can't take full credit. But making content that would engage people on social media. And it becomes a cycle of I like the content, I want to watch the content, so I come back to the content, and I wait for the content, and I engage with the content, and I like the content, and that feels good. Mm-hmm. And when I'm not doing it, I don't feel that same good, so I want to do it more.
Right. And when you're too tired to do more, you play video games.
Correct.
Fair. It's fair to do. I mean, it's reasonable, I think.
And when I found stopping the cycle of engaging with social media, I'll use Facebook for an example. Speaking for myself, when I stopped engaging with Facebook, I suddenly had time to do other things and not look for the feeling of good that I would receive from engaging with a channel or another contact or any other thing. So that was, I know in this day and age, the term slavery is powerful and for very good reasons charged term, but in the context of this conversation, of this Dharma talk, that's when I was able to stop being a slave to the social media algorithm.
Okay, very good. On the other hand, it's reasonable to slave up to a certain point. You're supposed to slave for your job, slave for your family. To me, those can be justified. But if you do it your entire life to no end, then it's a problem. That's my point. Okay? If you owe your masters, therefore you slave for them to repay your masters, I feel it's reasonable. Okay? But to do excessively, then it's not. Unless you slave for me. Okay, anyone else? See, it's so fascinating that we condemn slavery, but we never condemn slaving for our desires. Never, ever. Actually, we glorify it, you know. We glorify the celebrities and the aspirations and the fame and the power, and we all slave for those things, and most of us die disappointed and bitter. How come no one talks about it in all the cultures? And the Buddhists tiptoe around it. They say, you should. They're so nice. They say, okay, here and look at the Pureland Dharma door. Okay, this is why I find the Asians a little bit so mild. So, yeah. So he says here, we have a lot of drama in our world, therefore we make a vow to be reborn to the land of ultimate bliss. Okay? And it's fine if you are like among the millions of people in China who don't have very high level education back then, and therefore this is the only way out. I understand that. But in this day and age, most of us have good educations, okay? And we understand the concept of slavery. We condemn it. We don't condone it. And yet, we condone slaving for our desires. That's what's so fascinating to me, how ignorant the world is. What's so great about slaving for your desires? Think about it. Look at all the people who are old, who are dying. You ask them, what did you do your entire life? Invariably, 99.99999%, infinite number of 0.9s, okay? They all will tell you, I slave for my desires. Agree or disagree? And they say, I had a good life. I'm a slave, but I had a real good life. I'm so proud of it. I was an emperor. I was a loving mother. And so, what do the Asians have to offer? I say, okay, you know you have a lot of suffering, okay? I'm trying to get you afflicted at yourself. How could you allow yourself to slave, to be willing to slave for nonsense? And people like spend entire lives working hard. I remember when I was growing up, when I came here in the U.S., I went after success, and then the one sign of success is I would buy a Mercedes SL Roadster. That's a sign that's a proof that you made it. So you sacrifice your life, and you work hard, and sacrifice your relationships and so forth, bend the rules, cheat, steal, okay, to get what you want. What's so great about it? It's actually glorified, like the Bezos, like the Elon Musk. They not the most moral people, the most reasonable people, but they're successful. So people like me, we aspire to be like them. We slave for them. We're willing to slave for those illusions. And according to Master Shenhua here, you think about it, you think that Mr. Bezos is happy in his yacht, $500 million yacht, his wife parading herself for cameras. I don't know, in my generation, I don't want my wife to parade herself for you people. You don't see a problem with that? You guys are so weird. Huh? And now it's like you go to Vegas, or you go to Monaco, okay? And you drive into the supercars, the Ferraris, by the way. I mean, the red cars, let's not mention names. Red cars, if you are who's who, either you do a Lamborghini or a red car. Lamborghini, you see. You drive a Porsche, you're poor. Okay, or you older, you drive a Bentley or so forth, Mercedes, Maybach, and so forth. But the point here is that the epitome of fame and power and success is you go to Monaco, and the casino, Monaco, whatever it's called, and everyone parades there. I'd love to go there one day myself and take photos of all these exciting people. daintily walking out of their supercars, Veyrons and so forth. And they all have so much plastic. It's amazing to me. And then this guy here spent so much money to give him, give her a ring, $500 million, whatever I heard, and then $500 million for the yacht, and for the wife to sunbathe, for everyone to look at her. TMZ to take photos. It's so weird to me, the kind of thinking. And they're so proud of it. You think he's happy? I doubt it. Because the wife doesn't belong to him. It's ours. For us to look at her, and take photos. And drool after her. It's so weird, these people. Okay? It's best that they give the money to us and we help them go to the Pureland. Doesn't sound too convincing. Huh? Okay, only for you poor people, not the rich people. Okay, so the rich have so many afflictions. If you feel like you need to parade your wife and pay for her to go into the scalpel and hide for months for the scars to heal, and then parade her in scantily clad things for men to look at her. I don't understand that mentality. Hey, you man, help me understand it. That's why I like James Bond in that sense, because James Bond loved them and leave them, that kind of thing. Never mind. Even James Bond caliber. How about you women? Do you have any problems with that? And that you need to go, and fix yourself up? Liposuction here, liposuction there, and then parade yourself. Why? I don't get it. Yes, 7. The men would not touch this with a 10-foot pole. These cowards.
I think what's really sad is that young girls and teenagers and look at these things on social media, and they try to measure up to that, and it's already unreal.
Yeah.
And they're in a pressure cooker of a terrible situation where they're feeling like, oh well, that's what beauty is now, and it's not. But they feel pressured to look a certain way, dress a certain way. Oh gosh, my lips aren't big enough, or whatever, and like they should do something about it. And it's really sad that they can't just be themselves.
So what can we do? Yes, too. Besides going to the Pureland. Until we go to the Pureland, what are we supposed to do?
Oh, I was going to answer your original.
Yes, answer the original, whatever.
Master, in my opinion, that's the behavior of a man who has never experienced the love of a real woman who has substance and cultivates and actually cares for him.
Maybe he has no substance at all. That's why he divorced a woman with substance. That woman is something else. The ex-wife has character, has values. He chose plastic.
I'm glad she got half.
No, she didn't get half. She only got like not much compared to what he has. Simply because she's not greedy. She didn't want to make a scene because she has class. So that's why boys and girls, I know we're poor. I know that's why we can make fun of rich people and famous people. Okay? But I want you to raise the standards and have class. Because that's what separates you from them, is they have no class whatsoever. Deep down, they slave for their desires. It's no class. Think about it. They're just slaves. How can they have class when you are just a slave? Okay, continuing. Enough bad stuff. So the Pureland Dharma door again is Yen Li, is that you should become so disenchanted, so fed up with what you have right now. Okay? The boundless suffering, you look, everywhere you look, if you really have some wisdom, you're smart enough, you see that it's so much suffering that you're undergoing. And there's nothing you can do about it except numb your body, numb your senses, and distract yourself from feeling the suffering. That's all you do. That's what makes you ordinary. That's it. That's all you know. 醉生梦死. The Chinese are saying, you're born inebriated and you die as if in a dream. You live confused. What's so great about it? Yes, 7.
Thank you, Master. There's a question from Razvan 1040. Can you describe the land of ultimate bliss as you imagine it? Thank you.
You can find it in the Buddhist scriptures, such as the small Amitabha Sutra or the long Amitabha Sutra or the long life sutra. Okay? He does a much better job than me describing it. But thank you for the question. It's extremely adorned. For example, it's made of, instead of here in the Sahara world, where you have dirt for grounds, in a land of ultimate bliss, the ground is made of 7 gems. Gold, silver, lapis lazuli, mana, and so forth. Okay, crystals and so forth. Okay, and so there's a lot of good things there. And the houses are, your places, your boats are incredible. All right, look it up and you see for yourself. I'm sure that now you can do a query in your AI engine and we'll come back with a lot of information on it. Okay, JC.
Good afternoon, Amitabha Master. I am Roel 이승남입니다. 지난주부터 간음칠 참여하고 연불도 계속했습니다만 조금 저 자신에게 문제가 있는 걸 발견했습니다. 조금 전에 노예처럼 살지 말고 주인처럼 살으라 이런 말씀을 해주셨는데 제가 전에 다니던 절에서 스님께서 자기 주인용에 맡기고 항상 그 관하면서 살아라 했습니다만 저는 그게 잘 실천이 안 됐습니다. 근데 지난주에 제가 질문하는 내용 중에 세간법과 관음법에 대해서 말씀을 해주셨는데 저는 그걸 듣고 상당히 그 반성을 많이 했습니다. 그래서 제가 그 삼성전자에서 한 30년 일을 했습니다만 뭐 휴대폰이라든가 텔레비의 품질 혁신을 위해서 그 표준 작업, 표준대로 만들어서 분량을 개선하고 또 신제품 개발 프로세스를 정비하고 하는 거에서 상당히 성공을 거두었기 때문에 제가 그 현재 현행법의 그 준수와 그걸로 인한 효과에 대해서 상당히 그 자만심이 많이 있었던 것 같습니다. 그래서 지난달에 그 제가 우리 그 아메리칸 선명상을 만나고 하도 기뻐서 그거를 제가 만난 12월 달에 만났는데 그 만나서 제가 아메리칸 선명상에 들어오게 된 과정을 책자로 썼다가 저희 집사람한테 야단을 맞았죠. 그 내용을 보니까 자만심이 너무 꽉 차 있다. 이래가지고는 안 되니까 그 배포하지 말고 버려라. 그래서 그걸 배포를 안 한 적이 있습니다만 지난주에 그 관음법과 세간법의 차이에 대해서 말씀을 해주셔가지고 제가 그 세간법에 너무 도취되어 있었구나. 그 한없는 그 자애심을 발휘할 수 있는 관음법에 대해서 제가 그 개념이 없었습니다. 그래서 연구를 했습니다만 그렇게 감흥이 오는 것 같지도 않고 해서 제 친구인 그 입재 씨 하시는 말씀이 성남 씨는 과거 생에 법 집행관을 한 것 같다. 그래서 조금 더 그 유도리가 없고 너무 그 현행법에 집착하는 것 같다. 이렇게 말씀을 했고 또 우리 마스터께서 말씀해 주신 거를 종합적으로 봐가지고 제가 그 이제까지 살아온 방법에 대해서 상당히 반성을 많이 했습니다. 그래서 반성을 하다 보니까 한 2, 3일 전부터 제 가슴이 열리는 것 같았습니다. 그래서 굉장히 그 기쁨을 느끼고요. 이제는 그 불칠에 들어와서 아미탑을 연불 하는데 뭔가 자꾸 느낌이 오기 시작해서 제가 조금 이제 반성한 결과가 좋은 쪽으로 가고 있구나. 이번에 그 관음칠과 불칠의 어떤 효과를 느끼는 것 같습니다. 옳은 방법인지 좀 코멘트 바랍니다. 감사합니다.
Master, I'd like to start with some comments. My name is Isung Nam, and last week I was able to participate in Kwanyan Chi, and I did recitations. And during that time, I found my problems, and I was more like a slave, lived like a slave, and didn't have any class. And other temple, what I learned was do more contemplations. So that was the difference from this temple. And then last week, my experience was, you mentioned about Kwanyan Dharma and versus worldly Dharma. After I hear that from you, I reflect a lot. What I did was before, I worked in Samsung, and I was successfully managed my job. It's related to cell phone and then related to the production. That successful career might resulted my arrogance. So last year, November, I was able to meet with you. I was so ecstatic, very happy, and I participated in the cultivations, and I was so happy, and I wrote a book. And my wife was able to review the book, and she got really mad. And she said, what you wrote in this book shows you're arrogant. And so I decided not to do anything with that. I just gave up on that. So last week when I was concentrating on Guanyin Dharma and also learning about worldly Dharma, and again, I truly felt that my life was more focused on worldly Dharma. So at one point, Ipche told me I must have been a judge, and because I'm attached to certain current rules or something. So what I did was during this cheese, I reflect the way of life before I met you. And then about 3 days ago, with that reflection, I started to feel that my heart was opening, and I became extremely happy. Now during the Fochi, I do more reflections, and I feel like, am I going into the right direction? Is this the right way to approach, Master? Thank you.
That's what happens when you are educated and you have a good life, good career. When you get old and you're confused. And that's why there's a lot of discordant thoughts in your heads. Okay? And that's typical of people. I met young guys who sees of that, older like him. I see it constantly. Okay? But before I answer, I want to ask him. He said in the other temples that he's been to, there's more contemplation. Explain contemplation. What did they teach you to do to contemplate?
승남님, 관에 대해서 어떤 걸 배우셨는지, 관에 대해서 무엇을 배우셨나요?
그 10년 전에 돌아가셨는데 안양에 그 대행 스님이라고, 그분은 다른 거는 하지 말고 오로지 자기 자신의 그 맡겨라. 자기 자신 안에 있는 주인공에 맡기고 그걸 자기 스스로 관해라. 그러면 거기서 돌아가는 것이 제대로 돌아가는지 관하면 그의 모든 것이 해결이 된다. 그래서 그거를 따르는 분들이 꽤 많이 있죠. 미국에도 선원이 한 10여 군데, 한국에도 한 10여 군데 있고 그거를 효과를 보는 분들도 많이 있는데 저 같은 경우는 잘 적응이 안 됐습니다.
So, Master, about 10 years ago, this Snim named Tae-hung, he already passed away in Anyang area in Korea. What he said was, don't do anything. Live up to your true emptiness. Just do the self-contemplation. Just see if it is working properly. So many people said they got this message and they understand. But in my case, it didn't really work. So, for example, in Korea, there's about 10 temples under this master. Also in US, there's 10 other temples under this master. Thank you.
Is this the one of the big three temples that he founded? Tungdo-sa, Sungwang-sa, and Heiin-sa, or one of the three, or is it different? I'm curious. I'm constantly doing R&D to see what's being taught over there. It's different, right? Okay, very good. Never mind. So here's what's wrong, boys and girls. When you teach people Chan, you teach people Buddhism. when the instruction was contemplate and live within your true emptiness, the Asians get away with it, Asian teachers get away with it because the Asians don't dare ask, what is true emptiness? And you say, it's inside of me. Okay? And he's more the weird ones where he asks himself, he says, I don't know where my true emptiness is, and this, I'm struggling with this. Whereas a typical Asian would say, oh yeah, true emptiness. I have true emptiness inside of me. Okay? So this is when the Asian teachers, they teach Buddhism, they use a lot of jargons that they themselves don't understand, let alone that their students will be able to understand at all. Okay? My teacher, Master Shehua, this is what I like about him. When I learned Chan from him, he never mentioned true emptiness. Not at all. Why not? Because none of you knows what true emptiness is. Why can I tell you, contemplate your true emptiness? You see, the Americans here would immediately say, what is that true emptiness, Master, Mrs., whatever? Huh? The Americans would not, you cannot get away with it here in this country. But for in Asia, you do in Vietnam, in Korea, in China, they all eat it up and say, oh, Master knows so much about Buddhism. He's so knowledgeable. He has so much wisdom. So that's why when he used the word contemplation, immediately a red flag raised in my mind. He said, you guys don't know what contemplation is here. Because I look at him, I know he doesn't know what contemplation is. So I was curious about where he learned and what he learned about contemplation. I think if you ask Master Shehua disciples, they'll be hard-pressed to be able to explain to you what contemplation is as well. Yes, ma'am. Sarah? Go ahead, Sarah.
Hi, Master. Would you like to hear about this, actually, Deheng Snim? She's a nun. Would you like to hear a little bit more about her, or is that okay?
Very short version.
She's a nun. She taught monks as well as nuns and helped to increase the participation of young people in Korean Buddhism. She made lay people a particular focus of her efforts and broke out the traditional models of spiritual practice, teaching so that anyone could practice regardless of monastic status or gender. And she was also a major force for the advancement of nuns, heavily supporting traditional nuns' colleges as well as the modern Nun Council of Korea. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Good intention, but no real wisdom. All right, now this is what the monks and nuns find themselves having to do. They position themselves as innovators, doing something new that's not done before. It's very well-meaning, but everyone in Buddhism, if you're a monk or a nun, there's a certain level of integrity, or what I call self-respect, where how dare you explain Buddhism when you don't understand it. It's an insult to my master. If I say I learned the Dharma from Master Shehua, I don't even dare say I'm his Dharma heir, because I'm not. I learned from him, yes. I learned from his Dharma, yes. But I'm not his Dharma heir. Okay? But there's certain standards here. When you accept someone as a teacher, your teacher sets the standards and that you need to live up to. That's how I feel about it. So I ask myself, when I speak Dharma, I mention his name. How much of it can I understand? If you ask me about his Dharma, can I explain it? You know, this is what I call self-respect. If not, then I should not even claim that I learned from Master Shenhua because I don't understand. Because it's an insult to him. It's a letdown that he spent 30 years here in this country teaching the Dharma, and after I've been studying from him for over 20 years now, 25 years, teaching for 20 years, I still don't understand. Then it's a big letdown. Okay, so it is a matter of self-respect for me, because if I speak the Dharma, I dare mention his name and try to explain his Dharma, there must be a certain level of comfort there, mercy, no more than just trying to make a name for myself, make a living and pay for electricities and insurance and the bills. That's not enough for us to continue to do this, you know? I would not do this if that's all it's for. Because my master, Master Shenhua, my teacher, he came, he made a lot of personal sacrifices to help me, my generation. Yes, I took advantage of it. I sucked his blood. Okay? We all did in my generation. And that's natural. He did it willingly. He never said, you know, unlike me, I don't like it when you suck my blood. But he says, suck my blood. Go for it. Okay, that's why it makes me feel guilty, ashamed of myself. And I took advantage of it and took. And when now it's my turn and I'm obligated to teach you, okay, I feel ashamed. What have I done? Am I passing on to you the same thing? Keep on sucking people's blood? That's it? Have some class. You know? So that's why in our small community, I intend to train you and help you develop your wisdom so that when you're on your own, you can speak with wisdom instead of just selling yourself for the sake of paying your bills and make a name for yourself. You should be proud of yourself. Your life makes a difference. Your life has meaning. More than just living for your desires. If you can't, then help support the communities. Okay? Not all of you will be able to be a Dharma master, to be a level of Master Shenhua or and so forth. But have the big picture, understand the big picture, where you fit in. For this particular person, you know, has just the way that they describe to me her life, her accomplishments, and the way that her disciple, this old man there, described what he learned from her. She doesn't know how to train people. You know, do you think that's easy to train people? My master, train my generation. In my generation, over there, it's 0 right now for third generation. That's scary. He's dead in his tracks. He left a vacuum. His own names. I'm disciple, Master Shiho. I'm the heir. What have you done? This is why I call it American Buddhism, American Mahayana. We cannot make excuses. We don't make excuses. We deliver. You don't deliver in America, we throw you the garbage bin. We don't forgive. You cannot get away with it. Maybe you get away with the Asians, but you can't get away with people like me. I will scream and yell. His problem, you see, he's like 90 years old. How old are you? He's thinking too much. What he learned from that, he learned so much, he read so much that look at, it's okay. It's old man. He knows so much, he learned so much, so he uses everything he learned here to reference what he learned. And it's very simple, old man, okay? I teach you, okay? Put everything you learn in the garbage. Start out fresh, because you don't need to waste time comparing what you learn here versus what you have learned in the past. I'm telling this for all of you newcomers. Doesn't matter who you are, okay? Do yourself a favor. There's no need for you to compare, okay? What you learn here versus what you learned in the past, because you will be conflict, okay? And I understand you're not sure. We are a small group and we're too controversial talking about slavery when we should be talking about true emptiness. Okay? Like everyone else. Okay? So I understand where you're coming from, but once you've been to the community and cultivated with us and saw some responses, some results for yourself, do yourself a favor. You got there because you followed the instructions, okay? And you will find yourself, you don't believe me right now, but eventually, the further you get along, you'll find out that a lot of things you learned in the past actually are not helpful to your path. That's why you had to come to us. All the knowledge you feel was the core of your accomplishment, of your learning process, okay, did not help you. That's why you're still here. That's why you have to come here to our small community and cultivate with us. So do yourself a favor. Just shelve everything for now. Don't worry. All that is still there. All you have to do is ignore it for now. Those thoughts that come up, what I learned how to contemplate, you don't know how to contemplate. So don't even bother comparing how we train you, how we teach you, what we practice, compared to what you learned so far in the past. It doesn't matter. Okay? Because it only slows you down. It's natural for you to compare and justify your actions, and so that you can be sure for yourself. Okay, but it's the same sort of attitude that got you nowhere. That you found yourself coming to our small community and like it more because you got more out of it. So continue that path. Forget about that old knowledge. It's okay for you to ask. And for, for all the references you have, okay, there's no need to compare. I'll give you even a more controversial thing, okay? Boy, am I on a roll tonight? I should quit while I'm ahead, huh? No, this is too much. Now you expect this every single night. It's Sunday night. We're supposed it's a rest night where we prepare for work tomorrow. Where was I?
You said that you were going to be more controversial.
Think I broke my steel gate on my mind, so me can learn to Dharma recite. Thank you very much.
I hate to tell him this.
Yeah.
What he accrued all these years, his 30, 50 years of learning Buddhism, is what's stopping him right now. Translate that for him. That's how sad it is.
Yeah.
Huh? Because he keeps on referring to it. Wow, what is it? How does it compare to what I learned? Don't need to compare, okay? Just follow the instructions. Do it, that's all. Okay? And it turns out that I thought about it. I said, if Master Shenhua came and asked me and cultivate with us, recite the Buddha's name with us, and he asks, or she asks, Master Shenhua says this about Pureland Dharma. I would say, don't worry about it. Because my Pureland Dharma is a little bit better than his. It's more innovative. His is Asian. Ours is American. My point being that for almost all of you, shelve your references for now. Don't worry about them yet. Okay? Because you simply can save yourself a lot of more time by just doing it. I don't care what goes on in your head. It doesn't matter. Okay? This is a mess up here. It's out of control. Okay? Just follow the instructions. Do it. Why do I say that? Because others are much further ahead than you. Because that's what they did. Okay? All right. So again, going back to this Dharma door of the Pure Land, where we yin li, meaning that you are fed up and you want to get away from it. Okay, you want a divorce. Okay, and that's what he's been talking about the last 2-3 nights. In talking about about how much suffering there is. I magnify a little bit for you, put it bluntly for you, that you're slaving for your own desires and you're going to be unhappy about it in the end. Like this man there, he slaved and he got some success in Korea there and his career, make money and so forth, and went to temples and got respected for his achievements, his contribution to the temples. At the end, he's still unhappy. Okay, it's because the Dharma he learned is about still slavery. Slavery for his being recognized as an important person in the assembly. Being recognized as a smart, as a leader. Okay? And that's nothing wrong with it. What we're teaching you, we're training you is, doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how much success you have so far. When you're here in the Buddha Hall, remember, you're the same like everyone else. You walk, you chant, you meditate. That's it. Just like everyone else. Do that. And don't think of anything else. And see how magical it reprograms you and gives you insights you never had before. We're not asking you to do it forever. Just do it for the duration, that's all. Don't hesitate. Don't question, but I have all these worries. Even drop those worries for now. Just focus single-mindedly on the Buddha's name. That's it. Nothing else. Train yourself to do that. That's all there is to it. It's that simple. That's how powerful it is. Don't listen to yourself. You say, I don't believe this. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm intelligent. I'm smart. You're not that smart. You're not that intelligent. You haven't accomplished that much yet compared to the people I've seen, I work for. Trust me, I've seen them. They're not the Jap businesses, but they know each other. And they are the ones that Master Hsuan is referring to, that they are suffering, they're miserable, including Mr. Bezos. Okay? He's miserable. Whether he admits it or not, he's miserable. And by the time he dies, he'll realize that his life has been in vain. He's going to fall. There's nothing he can do about it. And this is why he's so smart that he's going to distract himself. Find another woman, buy a yacht, buy things, do things, just to distract himself, chase after more desires, to end up heartbroken, disappointed with himself and with everyone that surrounds him. So that's a yin right there. That's, you fed up with it. If you continue the path of no ordinary people, you will come to that. You come to face that, your reality. You fed up with your life. You fed up with yourself. Your body is sick. Your mind is sick. You're so afflicted. There's nothing you can do about it. And people only offer you distractions. They say, pray to the Lord. Pray. Build me a temple. Give me money. It makes you feel better temporarily. And here, the Buddha says, That's still not good enough for you. You should distance yourself from this mess here. Don't try to justify. Don't try to make excuses. Don't try to make remedies. Just leave. Take off. That's leave. It's so simple. Just drop it and go away. Where are you going? Go where all your frictions will immediately come to an end. Your body will no longer be sick forever. Your mind will never be sick forever. Yes, go first.
Amitabha Master, I have a question. So the other day when we were doing the great transference, I was feeling really scattered. So in the parts of the bowing, so I started trying to think more like I should be grateful because the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they help us. So I'm wondering if having that kind of thinking, is it like false thinking or like self-delusion, or is it okay to try to have that thinking to be more focused during the ceremony?
If it helps you temporarily, it's okay. But it's still false thinking.
Okay, thank you, Master.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, there's always temporary things. Yes, you cannot drop all your thoughts. So yes, at first you have to have more helpful thoughts. You appreciate this, how peaceful it is, how nice it is. Okay, how wonderful it is to have a break, and so forth. Okay, but eventually you also have to drop those thoughts and just go back to the Buddha's name. Okay? And so, Li is that you have a clean break. Li here is not about, I'm gonna go on a trip and I'll be back. No, not at all. Li here is to sever, to distance yourself. There's nothing great about this. And this is where the Chinese fail to teach you. If you really have wisdom, if you really understand the Western bliss Pureland, okay, if you understand your conditions, how dangerous it is for you here, how virtually impossible it is for you to get out of your state of slavery. It's impossible for you. You've been doing it lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. That's what the Buddha says, Li. Okay, Shakyamuni Buddha says Li here. It's not, I'm afraid, I don't know what is only taught in Chinese because the Chinese created the Spirit and Dharma door. Li here, okay, in my mind, Li here is that don't look back. Just go. There's nothing worth it here for you. Nothing worth it. Not your money, not your family, not your daughter, not your mother. Take off. Because that's how you can best help them. That's the Buddha's wisdom. Li, cut it off. Get away. That's the best way to help them, I promise you. Okay, where there won't be much trouble, much afflictions. Saha world is a world of 5 stabilities. The ultimate bliss is without all suffering, experience of all kinds of bliss. Yeah, so they contrast the suffering here, the craziness that goes on, the endless slavery for our desires. Is one desire after another, after another, after another. Okay, there's no end to it. One affliction after another, after another. Li here is a clean cut. It's separation. It's distance. And the Li here refers to you leave this mess here of your life, of your existence, of slavery, to go to somewhere that is so wonderful. Just the opposite of what we have here. Yes, too.
I have a question. Thank you, Master. I have a question. Saha, I learned that Saha world is made by Shakyamuni Buddha, and then there must be reason that for some people to stay here, and if everyone wants to get away to the Pure Land, then would the Saha world be inferior to the Pure Land? That's my question.
How dare you? Are you Asian? How can you ask me such a question? It's not polite.
Sorry.
If we all leave, as the Buddha says, you, this is my world, I built this for you, but you should leave. And he says, if you leave, then what's left of the Saha world? Is that what your question is?
Yes, Master. Well, there must be a reason that
you're worried about Shakyamuni Buddha having no more disciples. The world become a desert. There are only lizards and scorpions left.
I want to learn what.
You worried for the Buddha.
I want to learn the reason for this Saha world.
It's for losers. Why else can I put it? Controversy number 4. If you insist on being here, you loser. Or Republic. I mean, never mind. I'm just kidding, folks. Love you.
By the way, Master, in fact, the small thing that, in fact, that last April, I packed a package from my office to home, and I found lots of Buddhist book. Is usually is anymore. So I found that I read a lot of books, and I just gave that to other people. But I was a little bit concerned that the book may frustrate the people too. But I found that a lot of books I roam around too much, I think.
It's too late. You really ruined it for me. Anyone, let him have it. Go ahead, attack him. He's from Korea, so typical. Yes. Anyone? Huh? How do you answer him? Master Z, how do you answer him? If everyone goes to Pureland, what's left with all of us?
I think it will not happen, Master.
Why won't it happen? What do you mean it won't happen?
Because it's still the being who is confused and they stay here. They're always like that.
Confused beings? Really? There's a confused being? True. Around, I look at all of you. You don't look confused to me. Exactly. How many people you think would believe what I just told you? Even if they tune in here and we do a very nice short, and Master Yonghua says, stop slaving for your desires. End slavery. Have you no pride? How many people will believe me? Especially when I look at a clown like me. See, my Korean disciples are all laughing. They say, you're a clown, it's okay, Master. It's okay. You're entertaining, but no one takes you seriously. That's the answer. How many people do you think believe me? They asked, tell me about the Pure Land. Is it for real? Are you for real? What are your qualifications? How do I know you for real? What kind of religion is it when you teach us to abandon our wives, our children? You just said it yourself, Li. Li, right? Did I pronounce it right? Li, right? Li is it clean break. Drop your wife, drop your children, drop your mother, drop your father. Just go. Is there wisdom in there? Let me ask the other monks and nuns. They will tell me that Master Yonghua is all wrong. We have the whole Buddhist Association to tell you, to confirm to you that he's wrong. How many people would believe me? How many Buddhist disciples would believe me? Think about it. Yes, too.
Thank you, Master. Two points. Number one, from a social media content creator perspective, thank you so much for the wonderful opening for your Dharma short. That was perfect.
You're welcome.
But earlier in the Dharma talk, you had asked, the solution for ending slavery to desires. To me, it's a bit of a conundrum because I believe the simple answer is the way to end desires is undesirable. You have to be willing to cut it off. So the thing that people want, they have to stop wanting. They have to want that. That takes faith. And that takes, from my experience, a open-mindedness to something you don't know what it is and following it.
This is what it takes. I had to face this problem since I started. I started by deciding to teach Pureland Buddhism. I wanted to teach Pureland Buddhism, but I found myself having to go through Chan first, because no one would believe me. If I told you, Pureland is so wonderful, so beautiful, you ought to go there, you'd be so happy, you'd be so blissful. People will ask, bliss? What's that? Can you describe it to me, what bliss is like? I say, I can't describe it to you, but let me teach you how to meditate. You experience bliss yourself. That's why I started with teaching Chan and tag on Pureland later. several years later. But I started with teaching Chan because I want to establish myself as knowledgeable about Chan. And yes, the first several years, 10 years in particular, is very hard because my master's disciples are the ones who attacked me, who slandered me, who criticized me, ostracized me, and wanted to make sure either I kowtow to them, okay, or go back and join them to help them propagate Pureland Buddhism. Okay? And so for about 10 years or so, because of their successful efforts based on total nonsense, okay, no facts whatsoever, but only merely to base it on the fact they are Dharma heirs of the Master. That's all they have. Cowardly made accusation without announcing themselves. Tonight, I, masteryonghua, is calling them cowards. You can come to me and ask me why. Okay? I do not do it anonymously like they do. When I criticize people, I say, I said so. I stand behind my words. You can come and debate me and prove me wrong. But them people, they do it anonymously and say, this organization, this guy here is no good. My Vietnamese master was so upset. He says, have a spine. Have you no self-respect? If you denounce my master, my disciple, because at the time he allowed me to become fully ordained under him. He says, if you criticize, you can send me a letter saying your disciple that you're about to be allowed to become fully ordained is a bad monk and we rejected him and so forth. At least give me a name, announce yourself so that I can call you or write you and ask you, you have any proof? How can you help me out understand? Or why I shouldn't accept this guy, I shouldn't allow this guy to become a monk, a part of a Sangha member. No, they're too cowardly. My master said, is this the act of someone who has seniority, who has self-respect? My master is so upset. These people have no class whatsoever. I said, Master, please, it's okay. I believe like this for several years now. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. It's bad for your heart. Please don't get upset. These people are not worth it. Okay? So I had to struggle a lot, okay, to prove myself. How do I prove myself? By producing results through you. So I spent 20 years of my life training you, so that you, the ones who will tell the others, I know what bliss is. And that's what made the Koreans come to us, because they're so sensitive to energy. They come near you and they say, this master has samadhi, this master has good energy, this master does not have good energy. They stay away from those people. Okay? So we spent 20 years building this community by training you. That's all I have. I have no money, have no one supports me. They all wanted me. All the big Buddhist associations wanted me to slave for them so that I will be recognized as a bona fide Dharma master. I said, no thanks. I don't slave for anyone. Because if I slave for you, that means I'm slaving for my desire to be accepted. How is it different? It's slavery too. Slaving for my desires to be accepted. No, I don't do that. I'd rather be poor. I'd rather be ignored and slandered. I pay the price, yes. See, here we are today, after 20 years of teaching you. Look at yourself. You're superior people. But the next wave, next level, is that we still have a problem. Only you believe me, but no one else does. And the Pureland Buddhism is meant for more people, not just for us. And we are fighting against an Asian Pureland Buddhism that they tell each other the nonsense. Figments of their imaginations. They keep on talking about, recite with desperation. Recite as if you're so desperate that if you don't go there, you're gonna die, whatever. It's all nonsense. It's no class whatsoever. It's not the Pureland Buddhism that I feel that Amitabha Buddha stands for. But who's going to believe us? Only you believe me. So that's why it's your turn now. Pureland Buddhism is about you speaking yourself. And you telling people about your own experiences. Your own beliefs. And don't worry, in the future, the more kung fu you have, the more of you they'll have. I make a prediction now. In time, 10 years, 20 years, some people with amazing wisdom will step up and say, you guys are for real. I want you to go and propagate Mahayana, especially Pureland Buddhism, everywhere. And we'll be ready when it happens, because you will be skilled enough to do it yourself. You'll be credible enough to do it yourself. How? Because we suffer. We suffer all this time, all these years, slandered, ignored, ridiculed. Okay? In order to open your wisdom, to build your kung fu, so that you can tell what's good and what's not. So those of you who are able to do that, it will be your time, it will be your turn to carry the flag and help people. This is what it's about. Okay? Because I feel the way that the Asians teach Pureland Buddhism is too Asian for me, too Chinese. Okay? You're going to be so much better than the Chinese. So much more effective. How? I want to ask myself that before some American asks me. How? Results. This is why we call it American Pureland Buddhism. Results. We don't make excuses. We explain better. our Dharma more complete, to enable you to go to Pureland faster, obtain better rebirth grade, help your family, loved ones, ancestors. You think the Chinese can do that? No, they can't. If they could, they would have taught it already. So, people, American Pureland Buddhism will be superior. This is why I'm still doing this, because my work is not done yet. I'm done with Chan. We establish ourselves as a Chan authority. Pureland Buddhism, we still have some work to do left. Maybe another 20 years. We'll be unstoppable. Right now, no one can rival us in Chan. We establish. Come debate me. If you don't believe me, feel free to come and debate me about Chan principles. Any of you. Okay, I have a few more minutes. Yes, sir, in the back. 5.
Amitabha Master, I just wanted to clarify this one thing. With Pureland, I still struggle with my beliefs, but I take the attitude of these practices help me in my daily life. All the benefits that I see coming here and participating in ceremonies and practices. Would that be a good way to approach this? Like I'm only focusing on for my daily life here, doing all of these things helps me reciting Buddha's name. Would that be okay, or do you think I should also believe in the full Pureland thing?
No, absolutely. Whatever is useful to you to improve your quality of life is good enough already. Okay? Buddhism, the Pureland Buddhism is not simply about rebirth of the Pureland. We talk about it because it's something basically extremely difficult for them, for the Asian practitioners to achieve. They can't. That's why they resort to recite with like desperation. No class whatsoever. Recite the name Buddhism with desperation. It's nonsense. Amitabha Buddha is such a wonderful idea, a wonderful concept. You don't associate Amitabha Buddha with desperation, with anxiety. I associate it with a good life, with peace, with meaning in life, with comfort, with security, but never with desperation. It's so wrong the way that the Asians develop this Dharma door. So this Pureland Dharma door here is a recitation Dharma door here. It's going to help you your daily life immediately. You don't have to wait until you die to benefit from this Dharma door at all. Okay? If it's useful to you, fine. It's good enough for us. And one day, when you have other needs, for example, because you practice this and you're creating a lot of rebirth blessings, I know so you have these blessings, and one day you say, there's some family members of mine that I like them to get some of these blessings. Let me use them for them. You are in a position where you can give them blessings yourself, your own blessings. Okay? And they themselves will benefit from it. So it's a lot bigger than you think. You only see this small thing. It's like you only see it through the small lens of yours. It doesn't stop you from gaining a lot more through this process. Okay? So it's a lot bigger than you see, and eventually you see it. It's a matter of time. Okay? When your blessings mature, it will happen naturally. Our problem with these are such wonderful things that people don't believe it. They said, if it's so wonderful, why is it given for free? You should be making money, you should be charging for it. Yeah, if I do that, I'd be slaving for money again, like you. The cycle need to be broken. And my teachers and his teachers did that. So we continue that tradition to help others because we can. That's all. Because you're supposed to. You know, like I used to grow up reading these Chinese 小侠说 the novels of martial arts, where I subscribe to this idea of you learning martial arts and excel at it so that you can go and help save the weak and protect the widows and the orphans. I didn't realize it's very Buddhist. Okay, thank you everyone. We stop here tonight.